All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a feeling that I think is just everywhere right now. It's this sense that everything's a joke, that we're all sort of swimming in this deep, deep ocean of irony, and that maybe, just maybe, we've lost something really important along the way.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? You're scrolling online, you're talking with your friends, and it feels like almost nobody can say anything with a straight face anymore. It's like we're all in on this huge inside joke, but nobody actually knows what the punchline is.
And look, this isn't just some vague feeling we all have. It's something people are actively talking about. Like this Reddit user, Conrad Lyjan, who just nails it. For younger generations especially, irony isn't just a style of humor. It's the whole architecture. It's the foundation for how we talk, think, and see the world.
But here's the crucial part to get. This isn't just for kicks. A lot of people argue that this constant, layered irony is basically a shield. I mean, when the future feels kind of bleak, or when you're raised to expect things to go wrong, making a joke out of everything becomes a survival tactic. It's a defense mechanism against a world that feels, well, pretty out of our control.
We even see this in the stuff we buy. This idea of ironic consumption is all about using a product to signal the complete opposite of what it's supposed to mean. It's a clever way to tell your friends, your in-group, hey, I'm smart enough to see through all this marketing. I'm above it, even while you're literally buying into it. So, the big question is, why? Why is this happening right now, with this intensity? To really get to the bottom of it, we need to look at a really powerful idea that kind of diagnoses the very air we're breathing. And that brings us to this absolutely knockout line from the late, great cultural theorist Mark Fisher. It just gets right to the heart of the problem. What happens to a culture, to our minds, when we can't even picture a future that looks fundamentally different from the present? Fisher gave this feeling a name: capitalist realism. And to be clear, this isn't about being a huge fan of capitalism. It's the quiet, nagging sense that there's just no alternative. It's the "it is what it is" of economic systems. And this belief, he argued, acts like this invisible wall around our imaginations.
And you can feel the effect this has on culture. When the future feels closed, we stop trying to invent the new. So what do we do instead? We just rehash, reboot, and remix the past over and over again. Think about it. All the movie sequels, the 80s nostalgia, the 90s fashion, it's like the future stopped happening, so we just keep raiding the past for spare parts.
Now, this feeling of being stuck in a loop, it isn't just boring. It does something to us emotionally. It creates a very specific kind of sadness, a feeling of being, for lack of a better word, haunted.
But here's the wild twist in Fisher's idea. He said, we aren't haunted by ghosts from the past. No, we're haunted by the ghosts of lost futures. Think about all those amazing, optimistic visions of the 21st century we used to have. You know, the jetpacks, the flying cars, the utopian societies. Those are the ghosts that are rattling their chains around us now, the things that never showed up.
The term he used for this was hauntology. It's a clever play on the word ontology, which is the study of being. For Fisher, hauntology was a way to talk about this deep cultural mourning for a not yet that never was. It's a longing for a future that was supposed to get here, but somehow got lost in the mail.
And this comparison here is so important for understanding the difference between hauntology and just plain old nostalgia. You see, nostalgia is that warm, fuzzy feeling for a past that actually happened, usually with all the bad parts filtered out. Hauntology is colder. It's melancholic. It looks back at the past not to relive it, but to mourn the loss of its potential, the very sense of possibility that feels so absent today.
Okay, so this all might sound a little bit up in the clouds, right? A bit abstract. But I promise you, you can see these ideas playing out perfectly in the real world, especially in music. So let's take a look at how this haunting shows up in the work of one artist in particular.
Just read this tweet from Mac Miller from way back in 2012. It's heartbreaking, but it also perfectly captures that moment of crisis for an artist today. It's the moment when a real, living person realizes they've been turned into a brand, a product, a commodity to be consumed.
And if you trace his career, it's a perfect map of this whole journey. His early music was just bursting with this youthful joy and optimism. But as his fame exploded, his music became this incredibly deep, honest exploration of the loneliness and the emptiness that came with being turned into a product. His own personal future, it didn't quite deliver on its early promise. And then you get to this lyric from one of his last and most beautiful songs. It's just devastatingly powerful. He's looking back to 2009, right when he was on the edge of breaking out, a time of seemingly infinite possibility. But he's looking back from the other side, as someone who walked through that door and saw what was really waiting for him.
And that, right there, is not nostalgia. He's not just wishing he was a teenager again. It's a perfect, heartbreaking expression of hauntology. He's mourning the death of that hopeful future he saw for himself, that virtual trajectory he was on before it was captured and sold as a product. A lost future.
In fact, Mark Fisher had a specific name for this feeling, which he saw all over late-stage hip-hop. He called it hedonist sadness. It's that awful, sinking feeling you get when you achieve everything you thought you wanted, the money, the fame, all of it, and you're just left feeling completely hollow, asking yourself, wait, is this it? I mean, could there possibly be a more perfect poetic description of hedonist sadness than that? Mac Miller absolutely captured it. That dawning horror that buying more stuff doesn't fill the void. It just makes the void feel bigger.
So, wow.
If this is where we are, caught between ironic jokes and mourning for futures we never got, where on earth do we go from here? What are the possible paths for it?
We're basically standing at a crossroads. Down one path, we have critical irony. It's a powerful tool, don't get me wrong. It's a defense mechanism. But stay on that path too long, and it can lead straight to cynicism and total detachment. Down the other path, there's a push for what people are calling new sincerity, a genuine attempt to be earnest and authentic. But that path has its own dangers.
The idea behind this new sincerity is that maybe after all this time, the most radical, rebellious thing you can do is to actually mean what you say. The problem is, in a world that turns everything into a product, authenticity can very quickly become just another performance, another brand to carefully manage online.
And that leaves us wrestling with this really difficult question. Can we actually break through the noise and connect with each other sincerely? Or does the system we're in, this capitalist realism, guarantee that even our most genuine feelings will just get co-opted and turned into the next marketable trend?
So, as we stand here, surrounded by the ghosts of futures that never were, armed with our ironic jokes as shields, the biggest question of all just hangs in the air. What comes next? What do we build now? And how do we even start to build it with any kind of purpose when the very idea of the future feels like something we've already lost?